show or something and they do the countdown, right? And they start telling you how much they're going to do a countdown. Well, that's me all day, right? So I'm missing a shot. I don't know how I did, but you're supposed to see the other shot, but I don't know what happened. So I'm just going to go with it. How about that? We just go with it, right? Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. And then you guys on Twitter are not seeing what the Facebook folks are seeing, which is uh, my stuff. So I have this hilarious thing to tell you. I always like to start off by telling you something that kind of happens to me, and it seems like stuff just kind of happens to me. So you're looking at someone who is a female, and I am fully vested in my femaleness, and I'm fully vested in being a girl. So I live in the Midwest. You all know that, right? So I live in Michigan. So most of the year, for at least most of the year, we wear like 5 layers of clothes. So when it gets a little bit warmer, good morning, who is this thing? Hey, shake left and right quickly. Shake left and right quickly. What are you trying to do? Shake left, left, and right quickly. Oh, okay, I did. Whatever that did for you. Okay. Did that what you wanted it to do? Anyway, so I live in the Midwest and whatever, you're gonna tell me what that did. Hi everybody. So when it comes to this time of the year, when you get to minimize how many layers of clothing you wear, guess who takes advantage of it? Me. So I was on the freeway on my way here, and so this big truck made the turn. And you know, when they get off the ramp and they make the turn and you're right behind them, sometimes you kind of back off a little bit. Try up and down, up and down. Is something wrong? You're not seeing me properly? Try up and down. Are you not seeing me properly? You can't see the camera? Swipe up and down. Let me see. Okay. Let's go back to this. Maybe you can't see me. Can you see me now? What is it saying? Don't double tap to flip camera. Can you see me now? Double tap to flip camera. You can see me. That's what it says. So anyway, so you know, when the big trucks turn, the 18-wheelers, when they turn, they tend to have to turn so that you don't end up in their back wheel, right? Okay. So this big truck, I thought he was doing the right thing. I mean, he actually looked through the window to make sure he was not, no one was caught up in his tailwind. So I thought that was pretty courteous of him. And that's so rare. So I'm driving down the freeway and I'm like, hi, you know, so he's over in this lane. I'm here. My daughter is sitting. She's a whole human being. So she's not a baby. She's a whole grown up looking human being sitting in the front seat. You guys are going to laugh at this one. So guys, I'm driving in this lane. The truck is in this lane. It's 2 lanes, right? My daughter is sitting in the front seat, the big truck, the 18-wheeler thingy. So my daughter turns to me and she does this. And she says, Mom, he's saying that your bra is showing. And for a while there, I kind of got, disconnected. Like, how did he see so far? And I'm like, you mean to tell me this dude is driving, so he should be looking straight ahead. But instead, he's looking into the car, past my daughter's head, past her whole body to see me on the driver's side of the car. Again, we're going south. This is me in this lane, and this is the driver of the truck in this lane. How does he see through this window to see me over this side? You know what my daughter said? She said, Mom, it's called being a girl. It's just a girl thing. I mean, he saw all the way to see through my blouse and to tell my daughter, tell her to cover up her blouse because her bra is showing. Hello? I'm like, I'm in my car. I'm in my own skin. I'm my own person. Dear God, if I'm in my car and I'm my own person. Because when I step out of the car, most likely, I always have something on the back seat, whether it's a shrug or a sweater or a hoodie or something that I put over my shoulders when I step out. But while I'm driving, I want to just feel, I swear to God, I'm going to buy my next car. The windows are going to be this thick. I mean, like 2-inch thickness of tint will be on those windows. Does that solve that problem? What do you think? Just say yes, Harriet, do it. Because really, why? Say why. Say why. Can't I just be a person? Some days you just want to be a person, don't you? Yeah. Why? Like all the way in. I was shocked, y'all. I was so totally. I was like, so my daughter says, Mom, make a right turn and turn off so he doesn't follow us. So I'm driving down the street and I turned right just so he would keep on trucking because you never know, they see where you get off, that kind of thing. Then they come back and stalk you in a different vehicle. Next thing you know, you see all kinds of different vehicles following you on all kinds of stuff. Okay, I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna breathe. So I'm gonna call my brother. My brothers live in Maryland. So I'm gonna text him in a little bit and say, take yourself over here. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what they want our girls to do. It's summer, or what passes for summer in Michigan at this time. We're a little overcast and cloudy today, but okay, we can live with that, right? It's unbelievable. It's totally unbelievable. So anyway, and you want to do this, look at me. Say, and some of you are biting your tongues. I know what you want to say. Let me see if anybody is saying anything. Let me see who joined. Dragon Dejorvik. Hey. Chandra Marshall. Malik Alston. Hi. Someone else. Tanisha Paul Staton. Hi. I know you all want to say something. Let me see who else is over here on Twitter. You all, you know who you are. I know you have advice for me. Say something. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it. So anyway, so this is my story. Can you believe it? Some days I just want to be a person, y'all. I just want to be a girl. And I just want to be... Anyway, so what you're seeing in the background, you're seeing my posters. This is the Exodus Foundation poster. We've had this for over 2 years. God only knows. Somebody had to say to me the other day, what's up? God only knows why I've never shown it in the background. But this is our poster, right? And it shows the shelter, right? And it shows what we do. And then behind that is a poster for my book, Through the Fire, where I want you to go and get your copy of that. I recently texted someone and they were going through something. And I said, you need to read this book. So I sent them the link and I asked them to share it in their networks and so on. So, and then over there, but you can't see it, is the poster for Musings of the Spirit. So I'm going to turn this a little bit. So hopefully you can see it. See just a little bit. Musings of the Spirit. That's my second book, right? So right now we're working on my fourth book, After the Fire, right? And then after that, there's another one. They're coming right on. I just need to get the stories out, okay? And then after that, I can really tell you the stories I want to tell you. The stories that you want to hear from me, like love and sex. What do I think about people in relationships? Do I have stories to tell you or what? You are going to enjoy the next 2 years when the books come out of me. But first I had to get these stories out because they will help someone. On Amazon, they describe my books as self-help. Believe it or not, somebody was searching me an email the other day. They were searching for my books and they found them in the self-help category. She's like, Harriet, the whole category of self-help, and here you are. So they're self-help because they're designed to provide you with insight, right? And support as you're going through something. When I was going through what I was going through, what helped me was reading other people's stories. And frankly, that was just the Bible. So it gave me encouragement and empowerment to some degree, right? Empowerment to some degree to tell me to keep on going, keep on going. And sometimes you just need a little bit of that. Doesn't it help? Just raise your hand, raise your hand. Doesn't it help when you're going through something? It helps you to know that there is not only help available, but that someone else has been down this road. And then you ask yourself this question: how did they survive? How did they go through it? And I just want to say this, it just popped into me to say this to someone. If you were to ask me, well, what got me? What motivated me? When I was growing up, I had, like you all did, heroes, right? You had your heroes whom you looked up to. And there were people whom I wanted to be like. The people who impressed me, you're not going to believe it. It's kind of weird out there. But there is a guy from my home country named Michael Manley. He was a prime minister. I wanted to grow up to be an orator just like him. I used to listen to his speeches, and his command of the English language and his command of language struck me and impressed me. And I was like, someday I'm going to stand before the United Nations and speak like him. And I am going to do just that. So that was one of my heroes. Another one of my heroes was Jackie Kennedy Onassis. Her deportment and her presentation impressed me. I wanted to be a lady just like her. So I watched all the 1960s newsreels, and I was like, and then I went and read some more. The other person who impressed me was her husband, John F. Kennedy, believe it or not. I read everything about him. And then there was Marie Curie. You know who she is? She invented radiation. You know about that, radiology and radiation. She was another one of my heroes. Nelson Mandela was another one of my heroes. And my namesake, Harriet Tubman. Those were the people whose stories impacted my life. And I would read about them because I wanted to know, how did they survive adversity? How did they overcome? What made them get up every day to do this? And those were the stories I read when I was growing up. Now I read stories on, when Jeff Bezos had started, Warren Buffett, right? Elon Musk. Have you guys ever followed Elon Musk? You need to follow him. If you have a device called this, you need to get on Instagram and Twitter. Go to Twitter. Twitter is where the influencers are, the real influencers. Instagram is for entertainment. But Twitter is where the real influencers are. You need to follow Elon Musk. Thought leaders, provocative, right? Visionaries, people who see things and are not afraid of how they think. Recently, I read a report on CNBC. Anybody follow CNBC? I read a report on CNBC about thought leaders and about what influences them and how one guy got 8 of them in a room. The guy who founded Instagram, the guy who founded Twitter, right? The Google guys, right? And Bill Gates, Elon Musk, they got them in a room. And Steve Jobs, before he died, this guy got them all in a room and asked them to write out what their days look like, what they think. Guess what? Similarities right across the board. Can you dig it? So when you talk about today, who are our modern thought leaders and how do they think? How do they get these things done? How do they say, think about it. Elon Musk is driven by a passion to mass produce electric cars. So everybody will, as an alternative to energy. So we don't have to rely on people digging oil out of the ground. And we don't have to rely on people with embargoes. Like this morning, the news report said their pirates attacked a ship somewhere. Oh, you just want to get up and go. Can we just start a car and it goes and my power is on and I don't have to worry about people doing all kinds of things. So we are held hostage by other people's thoughts or whatever. Those are the people who influence what I think. I listen to them. I read what they say, and it gives you inspiration, because when you look at how you think along with how they think, especially because you're entrepreneurs, you're business people, you find that there are similarities between how you think, and you're like, wow, so I was really born to do this. I really am created to do this. And that by itself is empowering. That's empowerment. And a lot of us, the similarities, the reason you're drawn to me is because a lot of us are self-empowered. Do you realize that? That deep in you is that spirit, that thing that makes you get up and go and do stuff, which brings me to what I want to talk about today, which is guarding your mental health, guarding your mental wellness. And the stigmas attached to mental health today have prevented a lot of people from walking into clinics and saying, I need help. Those stigmas have prevented a lot of people from saying, you know something, I need some help, and don't not get help. We all walk around with stuff, residue from traumatic experiences or traumatic exposures, I like to call them. And I want to break down trauma to you so that you have some idea, because sometimes what I find is that people misconstrue what trauma is, and they misconstrue some experiences that come as a part of life and describe it as trauma and attach more significance to it than needs to. So you end up spending years trying to recover from something that you really should have just had a thought process to it. Just nick it away with a thought process. There are some things that you can think away. As a matter of fact, you can literally think your way out of stuff. All you have to do is to think and plan, right? They say that and it sounds easy. And you're sitting there like, really, I don't see it translating into my bank account. Keep thinking. And one day it will be there. Even if you don't live to see it, I guarantee you your beneficiaries will be here. You don't believe me? There's a man who wrote a book. It wasn't To Kill a Mockingbird. God knows, I've forgotten the name of the book. But this guy wrote a book, and he dropped out of school and wrote this book, and he thought the book was life-changing. It took him everything to write the book. He ended up in depression because he had to move in with his mom to survive. Everybody left him. He killed himself. He sold the book to a publisher, and the publisher printed the book, and he didn't get the rights to it. And after he died, his mother fought and recovered it and made all the money. If he had just lived long enough to fight the battle. Do you see what I'm saying? So it brings me to what I want to talk about guarding your mental health. It is very important that you protect your thoughts. Listen to me very carefully. What you see, what you hear impacts what you think. What you see, what you hear impacts what you think. You know that's true, right? This is why when you watch advertisers, for instance, advertisers know the degree to which they can stimulate us to pick up the phone and make that purchase. It is no wonder they have given us these nifty devices so that we can automatically just go to their website and just print, download something, print on it, pull out your wallet, boom, put the credit card number in, and you're done. So the degree to which they have attached significance to how we think tells us that it is significant how we think, but we ourselves do not pay attention to how we think and how much we think of what we think. We don't. We're too busy. We tell ourselves that I'm too busy. I don't have time for that. That's a luxury. You're busy working. You're busy building a business. You're busy building an empire. You're busy being a parent, being a father, being a husband, being a wife, being a mother, being a friend, a sister, a sibling, being chairman of the PTA, chairwoman of the PTA, precinct delegate, all kinds of stuff. You're busy, busy, busy. But the one person you're not busy enough for is, guess who? You. When was the last time you sat down and took a mental break? I'm going to sit here and wait for that. Silence. Why? You never do. Guilty. When was the last time you sat down and thought nothing? When was the last time you sat down and really thought about life? Never, because you're too busy. Even when you go to bed at night, you have to attend to your spouse. This is the only time of day that you have with each other. So you listen to what they have to say. So when is the time for you? When is it the time for you to think about the things that you need to think about? You know you need a mental break? When you start becoming irritable. When all of a sudden everything starts piling on you and you start saying, oh, wait a minute, man, just chill for a minute. Just leave me alone. When you start saying that, that's when you know you need a what? A timeout. And that's when your wife says, oh, and your husband says, we need a vacation. You need a mental vacation. You need a breakthrough and a break away from the stuff. And let me help you how to get to that. The reason your mental health is important because how you think impacts your physical body. All of us. For years, I used to tell myself that I would never get old. Seriously. I tell myself, age is not the thing for me. I used to tell myself when I was 30 that I'll be 60 looking like 30. And when I get to 70, I'll be 70 looking 40. And then when I get to 80, I'll definitely be a 35-year-old. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm 28 years old forever. And those of you who have seen me, you kind of look at me like, right? It's the way that I think. I think my life has just begun. Every day I tell myself there are days, and I have bad days. I'm very transparent to you. I tell you about my bad days, right? So I have bad days like all of us. But when I add up the sum of all my days, guess what? My good days outweigh my bad days. And that's what you have to tell yourself. No matter what has happened to you, no matter what you have gone through, something good is going to happen to you. And you have to know that and tell yourself that. No matter what it is, no matter what societally is going on, no matter how the stock market is going to crash, the price of oil per barrel is going to go up somewhere, no matter who is stealing an oil tanker somewhere with oil, that is just for us to go, oh my God, and for the market to shake and shimmer. And then all of a sudden oil prices go up. So the price at the pump goes up. That's all that is. Sensationalism. right? No matter about all that, Donald Trump acting crazy, Joe Biden acting out, Beto O'Rourke acting crazy, and the rest of us are just sitting there like, if you guys can't keep it together at the leadership level, then what do you expect us to do? No matter what is going on, every day, even if it's not every day, there has to be a day within the 7-day block that you're able to tell yourself something good is going to happen to you. I have proven it. In the midst of chaos, in the midst of everything, try it for yourself. If there is a day in your life when everything at the kitchen sink has gone wrong, imagine such a day happening. Everything has gone wrong. In the midst of that midnight hour, in the midst of that uncertainty, if you can say to yourself, something good is going to happen to me, literally, it transforms your way of thinking. And what happens is you find that your mind starts reaching. It's almost as if you're programming yourself to step out of the negativity and step into something positive. I kid you not. I've tried it myself. I've done it myself. Recently, we had a challenge. It wasn't me. It was my daughter who was going through something. And as a parent, when your child is going through, you're going through, right? You live it too, right? And you don't like seeing your child go through it because you wish that you could be mommy and you could kiss it and it would go away and the boo-boo would go away. And it doesn't work like that when they're grown, right? And I had to sit there and hold her. And I said, look at me. Something good is going to happen, but you have to say it. And she says, Mom, I know you say this. And I said, say it. And when she said it, it started to lift and transform her way of thinking. Transforming your way of thinking, transforming your way of life. And this is why you have to guard your mental health, because stuff is going to happen to you. Can I just name them? Parents die, right? Trauma, life-changing. Is that a life-changing event or is that trauma? It could be traumatic depending on how they die. Don't stress it. It's still a life-changing event. It's what happens after they die that becomes traumatic for you. Do you see that? But the fact that they die regardless of the process, if you were not in there with them, it's like an accident or someone attacked them, it's a life-changing event. Do you see what I'm saying? It starts clearing up right away. A child dies, that is a life-changing event. Sexual violence is trauma. Physical violence to your person or witnessing physical violence as defined by people fighting, right? Stabbings, right? Shootings, physical violence, people using their vehicles and committing vehicular homicide, right? If you see it, it tends to traumatize the person who is a witness. This is why I say tune out local news sometimes, because that's all they show and it impacts you. That's trauma. Life-changing events. Someone dies, life-changing. Do you see what I'm saying? So if we can separate those things, you fell, trauma, because your mind says, oh my God, how am I ever going to get out of this? An accident, trauma. Do you see what I'm saying? Right? Illness, trauma, and life-changing events. Divorce, life-changing. Separation, life-changing. Right? So if we break it down into what is life-changing and what is trauma, it helps us to cope because we have a certain set of skills that we are endowed with that helps us to cope. There's a hormone in our bodies. You've all heard of it. Serotonin. Anybody ever heard of it? Seraton. Go look it up. That's the feel-good hormone. A lot of the antidepressants that are prescribed are designed to simulate the effect of serotonin. Serotonin is that thing that says, hey, I'm okay. It makes you feel good. What I suggest that I do, what I have found that works for me is exercise. You know, when you exercise, if you go to the gym and you ever wonder why people who are gym rats are addicted to it? They're addicted to the high that comes from working out. They release the endorphin hormones that make you feel good. So no matter what stress, you find that people who work out a lot are less stressed. That's because their bodies are accustomed to releasing hormones. So when stresses come, their bodies automatically are programmed. So here's what you do. Start programming your way to think when stresses come. Instead of breaking out in hives and start itching, start telling yourself to release the endorphins, release the hormones. So what I do, I don't have a choice. I do my yoga. I kid you not. I do my yoga. And you start feeling pain in your chest and you think you're having a heart attack. That's an anxiety attack. A heart attack is different. And go read that up because the doctor will help you, right? It starts in your arm. You start feeling pain in your arm and it's persistent. A heart attack, it doesn't just happen today. It started happening a week ago. But you start feeling pain in your chest, just stretch your chest. Put your arms all the way back, all the way behind you until you can cross your arms, all the way. You're stretching out the muscles around your chest, right? Lift your arms up, high up, and bring them down slowly. It will relieve the pain in the chest. It's anxiety. You start thinking about a bill that is outstanding, that if you don't pay it, it could be precipitous. You could lose your business, you could lose your house, your motor vehicle, your child is in school and you need to pay the school fee, whatever the life event is, right? It's an outstanding loan or, a revolving line of credit, something. And you start thinking about it and it makes you go nuts. You start putting the stress hormones on yourself. Start reprogramming yourself. This is why take time every day while you are working out. Can I just humbly suggest that while you are working out, whatever time of day for you that you work out, think positive. If it is 10 minutes, as soon as the problems come, say, something good is going to happen to me. Program yourself to think positive. In the midst of all this chaos that sometimes are our lives, just sit back sometimes and take time out to say, I have a plan for that. Do you know that when you tell yourself that you have a plan for it, you are helping yourself to cope and you're helping yourself to find the ideas that will help you to overcome, right? And if you practice that on a daily basis and practice that as much as you can, it is going to help you to cope. Someone is saying something here. Are you from the Caribbean? Yes, I am from the Caribbean. Can you tell my voice sounds like some years ago somebody told me my voice sounds like the sea waves. I don't know what that means. I think he was trying to say something. Yeah. Somebody else over here is saying, self comes first. Absolutely. If I'm no, thank you. If you're no good, right? If you don't take care of you, how are you going to be able to be good to your spouse, your children, your employees, your public? You have to take care of you. You have to guard your mental health. So while you're working out, if that is the only time of day you get to breathe and think for yourself, do that. One of the things that helps me to cope with stresses is learning to breathe. Just take a deep breath. And there has got to be a place in your mind that you go to, whether it's the sound of the waves on the seashore. That's my thing. Oh my God. Just thinking of sitting and looking out at the water is enough. You know, one of the things I enjoy doing, but I don't get a chance to do much here in Michigan, is going sailing. Like seriously, getting on a boat and being on the water. There's something about the water that is so calming. Secure your mask, then help those around you. Absolutely, I love you. Thank you. Right? We all wear masks, don't we? Right? Protect your mental health. Protect the thoughts that come to you that are damaging. Let's say that something happens to you, such as a spouse, someone you love, walk away from you, a partner, a life partner. They walk away from you. You might view that as traumatic, but it's just a life-changing event, right? You have to step back and say, well, I love that person. I invested in that person. And I am sorry that they have gone, but I have to move on. Yes, you're going to experience feelings of withdrawal, feelings of betrayal and hurt and separation. I have written the book about it, right? But eventually, you have to ask yourself this question: how long am I going to sit here and mourn over someone who does not care about me as much as I cared about them? That's enough of a wake-up call for you to say, girl, you better get going, right? You grieve, then breathe, right? So take time out to acknowledge what it means to you. When my boyfriend and I broke up, I chose to walk away from it because it was no good, right? I loved him, but it wasn't good for me. I had to go through the motions of grieving, and then I have to come and talk to you all about it and be a person in the midst of all that, like just like the rest of us, right? But then every day I kept telling myself, if it were good for you, you wouldn't have left it. So I have to get on with life and live gloriously. And I asked myself this. So here's how I catch myself. Do you really want to look broken down? I asked myself that question, and that was enough for me to say, we are going to Victoria's Secret and we're going to go shopping. So when the going gets tough, the tough go, hey, you know it, the tough go shopping. Say it, the tough. When the going gets tough, the tough goes shopping. I kid you not. The going gets tough, the tough, she went shopping. She went shopping and lived gloriously. And then I went to look at all the books that I have written. And I said, really? That's what you choose to walk away from? You're the idiot. Block. Don't try to talk to me because you're a total idiot. I'm serious. Guys, who are you? If you don't acknowledge all that you are, do you expect someone else to validate you and to affirm you? No, you don't. You have to be that for yourself. If you are not your best self, do not expect anyone else to see it in you. You have to know that you are the best and you project the best. Do you see what I'm saying? And then you are the best. And tough, and they suck if they don't think so. They suck major. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Do you know there's a whole world of people? I'll tell you the honest truth. This is why I believe in living your life, and I believe in living a life filled with accomplishment. Tanisha, you know what I'm talking about, right? You should have a list of accomplishments that you can go to. Tanisha Johnson knows what I'm talking about. She's a writer. She writes books, right? She wrote a book called 100 Words of Encouragement. Is that it? Put that book up on my page so people can see it, right? Tanisha Johnson. I read that book and I was like blown away, like this girl wrote this little book that was so full of euphemisms and lifeisms, right? I checked this out. So I believe in a life well lived. So when I think I was 21, you know, when you're 21, you're game, right? I entered a beauty pageant and then other people came and said, well, you should do this other one. So I ended up doing the Miss Jamaica pageant, right? And I kid you not, when they sent my photograph, the person called and said, this woman is stunning. This girl is stunning. She's got to be in this pageant. So I went in the pageant. There is nothing as life-changing, empowering, maybe, than you standing in a swimsuit in a stadium filled with 20,000 people. Try on that for size. And tell me when they're either going to boo you or cheer you. Depending on their reaction to you, how are you going to feel? Your self-esteem could be in tatters. Luckily for me, when I opened my mouth, they liked me enough. So I was like, okay. So recently, when people want to leave your life and so on, I had to remind myself. I text him back. I said, who are you talking to? I said, really, who are you talking to? Right? And I had to look at the words that I was texting. I said, you're talking to Harriet Kemick? I said, no, we're not on the same page. Block and delete. Do you see what I'm saying? You've got to be filled with yourself. Now, you might think, well, Harriet, you should be a little bit more humble. I am humble before whom humility is for. But when someone is going to directly challenge you, right? When someone is going to directly challenge you, that's when you know who you really are made of. That's when you stand in your skin and you stand in yourself. And as they say, stand your ground and be you therefore. And every day I'm going to be me, therefore. This is why you have to have. So sit yourself down. Write out a list of who you are. Maybe you haven't written books. Maybe you never dropped a mixtape. Maybe you never sang on a stage. But what about the other things that you have done that have impacted the people who call you, who look up to you? Write them out nonetheless. You need to have them in your head because challenges are going to come. People are always going to come at you. They're going to challenge what you believe in. They're going to challenge who you are. They're going to challenge everything. Are you going to let it deflect from who you are? No. You are going to be you nonetheless. And this is why we say guard your mental health. Because here's the thing, you have to see your mind and your intellect, your mind. Do you know what's in your mind? That's your wellspring. That's your emotions. That's your decision making. That's where your choices reside. Hey, right? If you don't guard that, how are you going to live? Have you ever noticed when something chaotic happens to you, you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. Because the chaos jars you. This incident jars you and shakes you up and displaces you and discombobulates you, right? Right. That's a given. That's life. So you have to say to yourself, is this trauma or is this life changing? What is this? Train yourself. How can I get out of this? I have a plan for this. What is my plan? What's my backup plan? Right? The mind is a battlefield. Yes, the mind is a battlefield, and they who endure, therefore, are the winners. That's why you have to persevere every day. There's always a challenge. It's always, man, do I have to get up? Man, this happened again. Man, this happened again. So what? After a while, you know what the kids say? To hell with it. After a while, you say, to heck with it. I'm going to live anyway. I'm definitely going to get up and get my Starbucks fix this morning, or my Dunkin' Donuts, or whatever your fix is, right? You have to. And look at yourself and ask yourself, well, what is the sum total of who I am? So my children are growing now. So they're no longer the mommy person. I'm mom. I've been mom for a while. Like they called me mom, right? But recently, something they said jarred me. It made me think of mortality, something that I don't spend a lot of time on, right? But they said this. They said, Mom, my youngest daughter said, Mom, I just want to tell you that I am so grateful for you. And I said, okay. Oh, sweetheart, that's sweet of you. But she said, I'm saying that because you're leaving us a legacy. And I said, huh? Because, I'm thinking legacy. I'm thinking, I'm not ready to go yet. I don't have any plans to go. And she said, no, Mom, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that you write books and you speak. So there will be something tangible when you're no longer here that carries on. Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying? What is it that you're going to leave behind? Guys, protect your mental health. It jarred me because I was like, I'm not even thinking that. I'm like, I have life to live. They're like, we ain't thinking that either. What we're saying is that we're grateful for your contribution to making our lives better. And I said, okay, within that context, you are excused. Now, really what I want to do is I'm going upstairs to do some more Shavasana, and I'm going to do some on-the-spot jogging, because if I can delay it, I will, right? Do you see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to you all is this: guard your mental health. It's amazing how the mind works. If you what do you say? Can I just ask you this? What do you say to yourselves when you wake up in the mornings? Tell me. What's the first thought that comes to your mind? Oh my God, is this another day? That should not be it. You should wake up and say, oh, it's time to get up. I got something to do. Boom, and run out of bed. No, that's someone who wants to live. Regardless, do days come when the darkness comes over? Hell, I've had many days like that. Many, many days. But I'm here to tell you that I have survived them. And it was the power of the mind and the power of my thoughts. You have to build yourself up so that you have more good days than bad days. But you have to have so many good days in the bank of your mind that it outweighs and outstrips the bad days. It's just like looking in your bank account, right? You have more digits than zeros, right? Right? So when you look at the number of digits, after a while, the digits outpaces the zeros, right? And when you look at that, you say to yourself, yeah, I'm getting there, right? That's how you have to look at your mental health. Every time something happens to you, remind yourself of the process. This is a process I have to walk through. This is something, these things happen. One of the things I say to myself all the time, these things happen, this too shall pass. And I just keep it moving. And I just keep on keeping on, because I have lived long enough now to know that something good is going to happen, right? The body can only go where the mind has first conquered. There you go. I like that one. I like that. I'm going to borrow that, right? It's just like your body. You go to the doctor. We talked about this a few days ago, and they give people a life sentence based on sickness or progression of body disease and disease process. They give you a life sentence. It's 6 months, 3 months, whatever, right? And then what happens? People create a bucket list and go out. and they live for the next 5, 10, 7, 10 years. But didn't this sickness, a fact, say that they would not live beyond 3 months? You know what happened? They found the will to get up and live. I tell you that because I saw it with my mother. When they gave her that, her immediate reaction was, no way, I'm not accepting that. But then she began to look at the illness, and then she began to look at her life, and she wasn't satisfied that she had not experienced the love of her life. The person whom she loved did not love her back. And so what it did was it killed her. Instead of saying, well, because the first thing I said to her was, well, you haven't been to England. And she's like, I can't go because, they're going to give me medication. And I'm like, all right, when the medication is over, we got to go to England. We got to go to France. I said, you haven't been there yet. Let's go. Let's go. I was just like, let's go, let's go, let's go. She didn't want to. So the body went where the mind went. She allowed her mind to travel to the place of death, and then her body followed. Is that what you are letting your mind do? When something happens, you let your mind go to a place of death, whether that is it's physical death as manifested in you not being here anymore, or whether it's death of a relationship, right? Death of an idea, death of a dream, death of a job. Guys, I'm going to tell you the honest truth. Stuff happens to all of us. We all encounter disappointments. We all encounter stuff. Don't let it determine the bane of your existence. Don't let it determine the number of days that you're going to have. Keep on keeping on regardless, no matter what it is. I have to get up every day and tell myself it's going to get better. I'm living proof that I have to walk it out. But I believe that you will make it. I believe that you can. And I believe that you will, because it worked for me. So get up every day and tell yourself this too shall pass. Guard your mental health. Know what's life-changing. Know what's a trauma. And work within the parameters. And every day do you all journal? Get a book. If you don't have a book, there's a notepad on your phone. If using this is better, I believe in writing this. Write out what you want to do. I don't care if you're 70. I don't care if you're 60. It ain't over until it's over. When they shut that casket down, that's when it's over. Until then, you live. Live. Write out what you want to do. Go explore different places. Even if you haven't gone there physically, go there in your mind. Go explore different places. Think of different things that you want to do. Listen to somebody. Listen to an entertaining talk. Listen to someone who is inspiring and motivating. You know why people are addicted to going to church every Sunday? Because they're addicted to hearing something good. They want to hear that because they have to live the next 7 days with all kinds of stuff going bad. You have more bills than money. You have more demands than you have money. And you still have to find a way to live. I'm a firm believer in living. Put your feet up, watch Netflix, if that's what you have to do right now, and live. Go take a drive somewhere. You can't go on vacation this year? Okay, plan for next year. Okay, you can't go shopping right now? Well, this too shall pass. You're going to find the money to go shopping eventually. Do you see what I'm saying? Guard your mental health. And guard the negativity. When negative thoughts, my goodness, negative thoughts are the worst thing that can happen to you. Do you know that? You literally wilt. They took a picture of me right after mom died. And 2 years later, my daughter, it popped up on her phone as a memory. And when she showed it to me and I looked at my face, I said, oh my God, I look like my dog died. And they were like, Mom, it was happening too. It was happening. And I said, you all couldn't tell me. And I said, there was nothing that could pull you out of it. Do you see what I'm saying? And I looked like I wilted. Can I be honest with you? You know what I was telling myself during that time? If I had not had enough good days and good thoughts built up in my bank of heaven, I would never have made it out of that mess. Because such were the powerful feelings of loss. I could not quantify them. It was unimaginable, the loss I experienced when my mother passed away, and I couldn't understand it myself. I'm a minister. I've been around people in grief. I've ministered to people in grief. I've held people's hands while they stand over coffins of loved ones and while they're viewing remains of their loved ones. I've held people's hands as they do the countdown by the bedside in the hospital. How did it happen when it was my turn? There I was, going through this feeling of loss. Luckily, I had enough days. This is why I say do not waste your time. Don't waste time. Get busy with the business of living your life. If you have a dream or a plan and somebody else has ridiculed it and made fun of it, irrespective, do it. Write it out and put it in front of you as something that you want to do. Create a space in your mind. Have it envisioned in your mind. I don't care if the person you love the most does not see it as you do. It's up to you. Because at the end of the day, guess what? You're the only person who will be laying out in that box. They won't be. You're the person who have to fight the battles in your mind. This is where it starts and it ends. Do you realize that? Every inventor, every innovator, all the stuff that we do today that we take for granted started with someone's what? It started in someone's mind. The mind is a powerful place. What we're seeing right now, where we have gone to Mars and we have gone to the moon, irrespective of what the president says, yeah, we've been to Mars. It's a whole different galaxy from the moon. You know that, right? The moon is one of the planets around our Earth that makes us live and breathe. Okay. Irrespective of that, that started with someone's what? Mind. It was a thought in someone's mind. You were a thought in someone's mind. Somebody decided to go to bed and they said, well, out of this is going to come this great person, right? As a man thinketh, so is he. Right? It starts in your mind. Think positive, people. Think, have enough positive thoughts in you so that when the bad days come, the good thoughts that you have built up in the bank of your mind, in that wellspring of your emotions where you make decisions, start thinking positive. Whether it works for you at the end of the day, that 20 minutes, I keep saying this over and over, before you fall asleep at night, what do? Shut it down. Right? Shut it down. Okay? Shut it down. Turn the TV off. Listen to yourself. That 20 minutes, listen to yourself, therefore, and do it. Right? Right. Okay? If it works for you first thing in the morning, get up, work out. Even if you just have a thing that you walk around your house and lift weights with for your arms, if that's all you can do. Right? Or create a space in your basement where you can go and work out. Right? If you live in an apartment, go work out, walk around with something in your mind. The important thing is go to a place in your mind where there is nothing but peace. So when stuff starts coming, after a while, it has to go against that strong place. It helps with your decision making, right? If you think you're a loser, guess what you're going to be? If you think you won't win, guess what you won't do? You won't. When people come in front of you, I interview people, I talk to people, right? When people come in front of me, I can tell what they think about themselves by how they present themselves. And I'm amazed and shocked. There are some things that are common about successful people. And there are some things that are common about people who choose not to follow the path that was laid out before them. Don't live in regret city. Think, therefore, and plan, strategize, have a plan in your mind. Because when stuff comes, guess what? It's up to you to decide how you're going to come out of it. Are you going to come out broken, dragging stuff over your shoulder, or are you going to come out victorious? As for me, I choose to be victorious. I choose to come out looking as good. I tell myself, I kid you not, when my ex-husband was beating me up, I told myself that I was going to be as beautiful and successful. I used to tell myself, success is the best revenge. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be the best version of me as possible. I kid you not. I thought my way through stuff. I changed my way of living with the way I thought. If he thought, he's laying in a grave somewhere. If he thought that him beating me up was going to condemn me to a life of poverty, in my mind, in my soul, in my spirit, and in my money, he can think again. I determined I was not going to let him win. I have found that what you tell yourself when you're going through stuff determines how you come out of it. And as for me, I choose to come out of it victoriously. As a man thinketh, so is he. The way you think about stuff, you are designed to prosper. Tell yourself, when you get up to go attack your business in the mornings, what do you tell yourself? Are you telling yourself, today's the day I'm going to win? Say it every day. Every day. Today is the day I'm winning, people. When you start saying that, all of a sudden everything is going to come. That makes it look like you're never going to win. So keep it moving. Still do it anyhow. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. This is why I stream on YouTube, because I want you to go back and listen. You know that a few weeks when my father died, right? My father died at the end of February, towards the end of February, and I was having a bit of a moment. I didn't realize how much it impacted me until two weeks later, right? And when it began to see the impact, one day I was on YouTube looking for an inspirational song, and I came across a girl named Harriet Kamek. So I said, oh, let me hear what she said. I wanted to hear what I was saying. I said, do I need to modify? How do I need to change myself? And I found myself after a while, I actually sat down and I said, wait, that's helping me. That brought clarity to something. This is why I tell you, go back and listen to voices that are pouring life into you. We all need a little help, but who are we listening to? See the Exodus Foundation? We give hope to the hopeless, to people who don't believe that they will ever get out of it. Some of the most broken human beings you could ever meet are not just the folks who were traumatized in war zones, but people who were violated, who were beaten physically and sexually, right? They're so broken, they don't believe they can make it. They fight people like they fight me. They tell me, you're telling me it doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. It can't work. There's no way. Because all they have heard is you're a bee, you're a whore, you will never be anything, you'll never do this, and then here comes someone saying, that is not true. You can think your way through it. Of course, the programming is what they're going to listen to. So I challenge you to change your programming. Do you see what this is all about? Change your programming. Now, for those folks who have issues with hormonal imbalances that shape their mental health, I encourage you to take the medication as prescribed. If you are bipolar, for the love of God, please take your medication. It helps you to cope. And if you love the people around you, then you're going to want to be the best version of yourself for them. Don't let them worry about you and your safety and your well-being and their safety and their well-being. Take your meds, right? Take it. There are other ways to cope, but what has become true to all of us is that we have to reprogram our minds. Stuff happens over and over. Some people are hearing negative stuff from years, 30, 40 years ago that were programmed into their minds. You literally have to reprogram your mind. You have to tell yourself over and over. My friend here on Twitter is speaking some truth here and giving some instruction. Whatsoever things are lovely. Thank you so much. He said he was grateful for coming across. Whatsoever things are lovely and pure, think on these things. Think on them. What do you meditate on? Stop imagining the world going to end. Think about the things that you want. Frame a world in your mind. I have this thing where I'm going to go to the south of France on a yacht sipping a mimosa. If you think I'm not going to do that, think again. It's going to happen. That's my go-to spot. I ask myself that every day. How many books have you written? 3 are not enough. You got to keep moving. Every day I look at the computer. I'm like, get busy, girl, right? Getting ready to come and speak to you in the mornings. This is work for me. This is not a joke. This is not something I'm doing in my leisure time. Do you think I have time for leisure? Right? And bad things happen. To the truth, right? But you have to look at the end of it all. What happens? I believe that I will come through it. Sometimes I say things publicly because the people who bring the hurt, they're listening. They need to hear what they have done so that they know they must correct that behavior. So I know they're listening. So they know after a while, they don't bother with me. They don't mess with me because it says she's going to call you out. She's just going to do it. Right? But at the end of the day, I am the winner because what you intended to harm me, it didn't harm me. And that's how you have to look at it. When I look back at some of the things, you don't know, now that I'm healed, some of the stuff that my ex-husband said, it's like coming because I'm in a better place now, right? And I'm laughing at his intent, y'all. He really thought he could win against me? Dude, I have been public speaking from as far as I can, champion of my debate team. You ain't gonna win a fight with me. Okay? I was a beauty queen and a model. Talk about high self esteem. So I've been affirmed in that. Then I was champion of the debate team. Then they made me write all the essays. So I'm affirmed in my intellect. So come again. Do you see where I'm coming from? Live your life in such a way that when these things come at you, you have that go-to moment. Go read up on yourself. Write stories to yourself. Write letters to yourself about what you have done. Do you realize you have accomplished something? You realize you're someone, right? You're done something. Have you ever quantified that and thought about that, even just for you? Even if they never recognize you in the community, even if you never get man of the year, woman of the year, and so on. Some people collect those things because it's their ego and they walk through town and they're forever egotistic. No, you can tell the person who is confident, they have a quiet, gentle space and aura around them. They walk into a room and you don't know why, but everybody starts standing. Has that ever happened to you? I walk into a room and people who are sitting just find themselves standing. Grace has entered the space. The sum total of your experiences have produced a grace in your spirit, have produced an effort thing in you that says this person has survived and is worthy of being called what they're called. They're worthy of the title ascribed to them. They're worthy of the calling that is on them. People searching for meaning every day. People are looking for the meaning to their lives. Do you know what is real? Do you know what is really real? What is the meaning? It's finding yourself in the midst of the chaos of life, and you find the reason that you were born. And when you do, guard it with everything in you, work at it. Because at the end of the day, this is what it produces. You can sit back and you can do like I do. There's a picture of me on my YouTube page, sitting in a chair. When my publicist saw that picture, she chose that picture to be my profile picture. She said, that's the boss. And she said, I don't know. She said, I can tell exactly what you were thinking that day. And I said, yeah. That's you, right? Go to my website. I hope this message has been a blessing to you. Go to my website, harrietkemmick.com, as well as go to the exodusfoundation.com. Be a blessing to us. Help us to do what we do. You know what we do. It blesses you every day. Look at that. Be a blessing to us. Help us to deliver services to victims of human sex trafficking. And you think maybe it's not them. Well, you're still helping me to continue to do these broadcasts as well. It does cost us something to drive. It does cost us something to put these up, run the cameras. There are people here whom you're not seeing. You're just seeing me. But there are other people who are behind this effort to produce this. So I encourage you to go buy my books wherever they are. You find them online. You can download them. My books are available in downloadable form. They're in Audible formats, whatever. Buy them. And of course, come back and hear me again and share this with your friends. Send it to somebody's inbox. Tell them they got to hear this, right? And at the end of the day, do something for yourself. Start writing out your affirmations. What do you believe about yourself? Start thinking. And before you go to bed at night or first thing in the morning, develop that. That's your space. Guard it. Even before you kiss your spouse, before your spouse is aware that you're awake, right? Protect that space in your mind. Let it be. It helps you. The mind is powerful. That's where we overcome, right? I love you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor and it's a privilege to serve you. It truly is. You bring tears to my eyes when I think of the value that you bring to me as well. Thank you so much, everybody. I love you. Are you going to have a great day now? Right? Have a great day. I am going to live gloriously. Probably going to head to the mall, but you didn't hear that. You didn't hear me say that. You did not hear me say I'm going to head to the mall. Did you? Did I say that? I didn't say that, did I? I did. See you on the other side of the morning tomorrow, okay? Be blessed, everybody. Be blessed. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jesus. This too. Thank you for this time. Thank you. Thank you for this time. Thank you. Thank you for this time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.